Assalamualaikum and welcome back to Coding with T. Today we are going to start a very important tutorial in which we are going to learn how to fetch products from Firestore, including all the images of the product and how we are going to display that product on a grid. So in general, we are going to learn two things: how we are going to fetch the products and we are going to display those products on a grid. Okay, so first of all, let's quickly have a look what we are going to create. Okay, so our application is running. If user is logged in, he will be redirected to the home screen as you can see, and data is loaded. We have already learned how to fetch the categories, how to fetch the banners and also add loader to it. And also down below you can see today we are going to learn how to fetch the products and display in a grid, as well as when you are going to click on any of the product, you can see currently its other images are being loading. And also down below we have all the data or details of this product. This is a single type of product and this is a variable type of product which has variations. When we are going to open this, you can see we have different type of attributes. We have a color, and specific to that color, image is also being selected and it is being loading. And you can see specific green color of this size of image has been loaded, also the black size, then the red image is also loaded. So this is what we are going to learn. When you click on this image, you can view this image in detail. You can add all the dynamic images into the image slider. Then we have a discount tag, we have a price range, and also when we are going to select any of this image, you can see the price range is being changed. In stock status, price of this variation, currently this one is out of stock, this one has a sale for this variation. So this is what you will be able to learn in today's tutorial. And you can see when we are going to switch any of the screen, head back to previous screen, none of the images loaded from the Firestore, but they all stay intact instead of reloading again when the widget will be rebuilt. So this is what we are being learned in previous tutorials and also will learn in today's tutorial. So let's get started. We are creating Flutter e-commerce application, and if you are new, you can get the complete playlist link from the description, or also you can get a complete code from the description below. We have already completed all the previous first 4 sections in which we learn how to design, how to create a project. Right from the beginning till end, we have completed every step to design this application, and we are about to complete our playlist with a last section. And also we are going to learn how to add different type of payment methods once this playlist is completed, how to deal with the orders, and also how to add and manage reviews. And we will also learn after this playlist admin panel using the Flutter. So let's get started with today's tutorial. The first of all, today's tutorial is going to be breakdown into various parts because this tutorial is a bit long tutorial, so I am thinking to divide it into 2 parts. So how this tutorial will be breakdown. So first of all, we are going to learn how to create a database design, because most of the people coming from the SQL backend with the SQL knowledge create databases using SQL approach, but we are going to use the non-SQL approach. So that's why we're going to learn how to design a database in a way that any type of product can be incorporated into a collection. Do we need sub collections, and everything related to the database will be discussed first. So once we understand all the design, we will try to convert that design into our model. So we will try to create a model and create its helper methods that are going to convert data to JSON and receive data from JSON. Then we are going to start from a beginning flow. The first of all, a design will be opened, and whenever this design screen will be opened, we have to fetch the data from the database. So a journey will start from the design. The design, maybe some event will be triggered or maybe some screen opens. On that action, we want to receive the data. Design is going to request to get this data from the controller. Controller's duty is to maybe check internet connection, start a loader, request the repository to get data or to return data into specific model structure, because design only knows about this model. Then repository duty is to request data retrieval from the database using a specified query, and when database returns the data, so this will flow back down. Database will send data to the repository will going to send data, or if there is any exception, will send exception or data to the controller. So controller will receive that, handle the exception if any, display a relevant message to the user, and if data received, controller is going to get the data and return data to the design, and design will display the data. So this is actual the complete flow of anything that we are going to do from design till backend. So let's get started with today's tutorial. First and foremost, you have to open your Firebase console, and in here you can see we have opened our Firestore database, and in that we have a new thing. Previously we learned how to add user with all these details, the profile picture, then we learned the banners, categories, and today we're going to focus on the products. And you can see I have uploaded 40 dummy products. Okay, in here you can see if we head towards the profile to upload all the data, if you downloaded a complete code, you will be able to get this option over here, which is load data. You will click on it, and inside we have 6 different options to upload different type of data. So you just have to click on this categories. It will be able to start loading all this data for you. Once that will be start uploading, you will not be able to cancel it. So just have to make sure that your internet is stable and everything is working fine. Same way you can upload all the products. When you click on it, you just have to make sure your Firebase is connected with your project and Firebase database is enabled. Also storage is enabled over here. Then it will automatically upload all the data to your backend. So same like this, you will be able to see all the 40 dummy products uploaded. So let's talk about a single product. So a single product can have a title over here. Then we have some price, sale price, thumbnail of that image, maybe stock status. SQ is a stock keeping unit number, and then bunch of other descriptions and bunch of other things you might want to display for a simple product that don't have any variations, that don't have anything related to brands associated with that product. So if you don't have those things, you're pretty fine. You just have to add those fields, simply fetch those fields, and you're done. But if we have different type of brands as well inside our project, how we are going to handle those? So let's say if we have a brand, this product is related to some company whose name is Nike, and they have some image over here. So these are some additional fields: products count and is featured. They are not necessary to be here, but we only require two things: image ID, image, and name. These are the three things. So we only require these three things because we want to avoid reads as much as we can. So let's say a new company or a new brand registered in our store. In the admin panel, they created their account. If you are going to go for the multi-vendor, they created their account. They give the brand name, brand logo. Hopefully that brand logo and name is not going to be changed for most of the cases. So instead of only storing brand ID over here, which we will receive in the backend, and using that brand ID, we again have to query brands collection, which we will create in next video. So from that brand collection, we are again going to get the same details. So instead of that, avoid reads, we are simply going to copy the brand directly from the brands collection, when saving in the admin panel, and store it over here inside a map. And you can see purpose of using a map is that we can store different type of keys as well. It's a string, then we have a boolean, string, and number. So brand is stored in a way. Then we have list of images. This is an array. At the zero index we have a string again. So it is a list of strings, right? Then we have a boolean, number. And so before going to discuss with the product attributes, you can see we have two type of products in our application. The first one is a single type of product. Second one is a variable type of product. Single product has only these few things: brand, category, price, and some other things. Nothing to do with the product attributes and product variations, because it has its own price, it has its own sale price, on stock keeping unit, thumbnail, title, and all these things. So that's it for the single one. But let's say we have a product type which is variable product type. So what does variable product type mean? So if you see this, let me go to the home screen. In here we have a product, which is this one, which is a variable type of product. So this product has some colors, has some sizes, different sizes. This size is not available, which is disabled. These sizes are available. So we are going to call these things as attributes of a product. So if you head back to the design, you can see the product attributes. You can open this, and now you can see we have a color over here. Same way we have a color over here as a title, and then we have three values: green, black, and red. So we have green, black, and red, three values of this one title at zero index. So currently we have zero index and one index, and we are displaying that two things. At zero index we have some title and values, then at one index we have some title and values. So these are the product attributes right over here. So this is again a map. You can see product attributes itself is an array. At zero index we have a map. Again, these are the map values. So by this way we can add as much attributes as we want. So if you open this, you can see inside this map, the first value is a string, the second value is again an array. So we can add as many values as we can, as many sizes as we can. So this way we can add product attributes. After that, definitely we have a product type over here. It will be only, this is just for the demonstration, but we will only have a variable or a single written over here in a string. Then we have the product variations. So based on these attributes, we will have to create variations in the admin panel. So each variation is going to have specific attributes or collection of specific attributes. attributes, right? So the way we open this product attributes, you can see the first one is color. We will get the name from here. The attribute is selected, which is color, and one value will be selected from here, so which is color green. And same way we have other attribute which is size, and its value is 34. So we have attribute values inside a product variation. So by this value, attribute value, we're going to identify which product variation we have to show whenever these type of combinations will be selected. So let's say I'm going to select green 34. So select green and 34 is selected, and you can see over here the price is 122.6, which is the price of this specific variation, 122.6, and actual price is 134 for this variation, and also it is in stock. This means that we have 34 items in the stock, so this means that this is enabled. And when selecting these two attributes from these two values, whenever these two attributes we selected, we will match from all these variations, and when we found any match, we will display that specific variation in front of user. It has its own description, id, price, stock keeping unit, status, and you can add as much details as you want in the variation. Same way, whenever some other variation is selected, you can say it is out of stock, which is black 34. When you open this, which is black 34, you can say its stock is 0. This means that it is not in the stock, and later on when we are going to deal with the cart tutorial, we are going to add it into the cart. Click on add to bag. You can see selected variation is out of stock. This means that this cannot be used. 30 is disabled because we don't have 30 size for any of these, not for the color green, red, or black. So that's it. I hope you understand the basics of the design. So because we have everything in mind, let's head towards our project. And in here, we are going to first of all map that data into the model. So we are dealing with the shop feature. So let's go to the feature models. In here, you can see we have a product model. So let's open this. This is the product model which has all these values created over here, which we have just seen in the database collection. So all the values are over here, but to get the brand, we created a separate brand model. So if you open this, I have created also this brand model over here. So it has ID, name, images, featured, and product count. We have two functions over here. We will get back to these functions. You just have to understand all these things in order to execute. So we have created a brand. Then we have list of image strings. We will get the images over here. And then over here, you can see we have product attributes. First of all, so I have created a separate product attributes, name and list of values. Name will be color, values will be green, red, blue, black, etc. So this is to JSON. If we want to store the data into the JSON, we have to follow this approach. And if we want to receive the data from JSON, we have to get the JSON over here, because Firebase return everything into JSON format. So we'll get the JSON over here, and it is going to check if it is not empty or empty. Then in the product attribute model, if it is not empty, we're going to get the name, store it over here into this variable, and again using list of string dot from, we will store all the values into this list. Same is for case for the variations, because variations have bunch of values, so nothing to worry about. We have all these values constructors created, but only attribute values that we are going to match with the actual product attributes will be stored in a string and string format. If you head back over here, open the variation, in the attribute values, you can see we have first value is a string, key value pairs, key value pairs. So these both will always be in a string, and it is also a map. So it is a map. Then we have string, and string will be stored in the attribute values. Again, to JSON is to store the data into the Firestore, but this is what we need. We will receive the JSON over here. In the data, first of all, we extract the ID, then we extract the price, then we have stock keeping unit, stock, sale price, image, and attribute. So these are the values that we are going to receive. So convert it, map of string, string dot from, data will be received from this JSON. Whatever we have stored in the attribute values will be received using this key. Store it over here. How we are going to call all these? So let's head back and see the JSON format. We want to upload the data. You have to use .to JSON, because we're not uploading and we are going to receive the data. If you're going to use the stream, you might need from query snapshot method. And if you are receiving from a document, you will receive data in this function. So first of all, let's talk about this model. We're going to get the ID, get all the details from the key, which is data of title, data of stock. You just have to make sure that these keys should match all the values over here. So if it is brand written over here, we should have to receive the brand with the exact name, right? So data of brand should be received over here. Because brand is again a JSON format, we're going to receive this as a JSON in the curly brackets, because it is a map. So map will always be received as a JSON format. So you just have to remember this. So map is again a JSON. First of all, this all the data will be received in a JSON format. In a JSON, we will have another JSON, so whose key will be brand, value will be this, right? Same is goes for these things. So we have to receive this. You can see we have a brand model dot from JSON, which is receiving another JSON. Remember, always map is going to be used as a JSON. So in a JSON, we have key and value pairs. Key will always be string. Value can be anything. Value can be another map as well, a string, an integer, or anything. So we just have to remember this key. So when we get this brand, we will receive another JSON. So we'll pass this JSON to this model, brand model. It is going to receive this JSON, convert it, and return this brand model over here. And we will store that brand model to this brand value. Same, we're going to receive all these images. If data of images not is equal to null, we will receive list.from and we will receive the complete list over here. Else we will receive nothing. Then for the product attributes, we are going to get these product attributes because we have a list of JSONs in this case. You can see this is a list and each value contain another JSON. You can see the curly brackets. Each list contain JSON. So you just have to get all these attributes, go to the product variation, and you can see we have all these values over here. We have to map those values. So we will first get this data as a list of dynamic. In the dynamic, we have anything. Currently, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and complete list. Inside this list, we have a JSON. So using map is going to convert that data to a specific format. So inside this EU, when you hover this, you can see we are going to receive a unique dynamic, which is basically a JSON, and we will pass this to this product variation and product attribute. When that JSON will be received, again, it is a map of string dynamic. It is going to convert that data and return this product variation model. That product variation model will be received over here, and this loop will be ended. All the product variation models will be received, converted to two list and assigned to this list over here, which is product variations. We created a list of product variation models. So I hope you understand the basics. Once you have everything created, all the brands are created, be careful while creating the models. Carefully create all the values. Once you have a perfect model, you don't have to be worried about getting the data and displaying it to your screen. So once we have all the data created, the next step is to go to the screens inside the shop and head towards the home screen, because inside this home we want to display in this grid, the design grid which we have already created, display products. Okay, if I open the current project which we are currently working on, you can see we have a list of categories that we already fetched. We have the banners. Down below we have a static two products being displaying in the grid. So item count is 2. We have to convert it into 4 items and we want to get those items from our database. So how we are going to trigger that? The first step is to get the data. So whenever this home screen loads into the database and this build method will be created, we want to get all the data and display it into this grid. So to trigger that, we first have to trigger the controller in that on init methods. Whenever that build method will be created, controller's instance will be created and its own init method should execute using get.put. We have already covered in detail why we are using the get.put and get.find. So get.put is going to create a new instance for us, create a product controller. New instance will be created and on init method of this class will be executed. So using this class, we are going to then assign all the data to this grid. So first of all, let's create this product controller. Inside this shop, go to controllers, create a product controller. Inside this controller, I've created a new empty class which is product controller and extended with a getX controller so that we can use the getX features. So first of all, whenever this getX controller will be created, we want to run its on init method. So press Ctrl O, search for on init, create it. Inside this on init method, we want to call a function which should get all the data and assign that data to a variable which are going to use inside our application. Inside this variable, we're going to get the data, which is list of product models, but it is Rx type of list. And at the end, you can see we have the .obs. So this obs is going to make this list as observer. So whenever there is change inside this list, we will be able to redraw our design using set state. So let's create a fetch featured products, because on home we have to display the featured products. Create a new method. Featured product is not going to return anything, but we will be able to get all the products and assign those products products to this variable, and we'll use this variable inside our design. So this function will be async because we have to call cloud query inside this, and because we have a cloud query, so always make sure to use try catch. And then in the finally we are going to remove any loaders that we're going to start, so also create a loader over here. So this is again going to be OBS. So when this is loading is going to be changed, because this is observable, whenever this is loading will be changed, our screen will be redrawn. So let's try to change this. Is loading dot get the actual value from this OBS. We have to call the value. So is loading is a type of RX bool. If you hover over this, you can see it is type of RX bool, and to get actual boolean value we have to call the value and pass true. It means that start the loading, and then we're going to stop that loading inside the finally whenever this function will be completed, in either case of completing the try method or the catch. And if we catch anything, we're going to display error snack bar, which we have already created over here inside the loaders.dart. Using static method we can directly call tloaders, and inside we have a method error snack bar, which is simply a get.snackbar method. So we'll display that with the title and message is e.string, whatever message we received. Once loader started, we want to fetch the products first from the repository, and then we are going to assign those received products to this featured products variable. So to do that, we first have to create a repository. So we will send the request from here to the repository. So we are going to use this variable. Using again get.put, we will be able to create a new instance of this class product repository, which is over here. And then using the await sign, we're going to call the product repository dot this function, which we are going to create now, get featured products. It is going to return the products, and we will receive all the products over here. Then to assign the products to the featured products, we have to call featured products dot assign all, and assign all the products to this. Now let's create method in the product repository. Okay, inside the data repositories in the product, I have created empty class, which is product repository extends with a getX controller. It has already upload dummy data function. So if you want to see this, we're going to create a helper function from the Firebase storage service, the service that I created. We're going to use this function to get data from the assets. Assets are over here. So you have all the images inside this assets. You have to pass the path of this asset, and it is going to return the image that will be able to store to the server. Then using loop, because we're going to receive all the products, the dummy products that we have already created over here in a list, and added a dummy data on all the models. You can see product attribute values. Then we have a product variations 1, 2, 3, and so on. After that, we have other product models. Same way we have lot of products. Loop through each product, get the thumbnail using the method that we just saw inside this Firebase storage. Get this thumbnail using a storage uploader that we already learned to upload images inside the Firebase storage. Upload images, get the URL, assign URL to this thumbnail, store this data. Also, if you want to upload all the list of images, you have to loop through all images with the same procedure. Then upload variation images, and once done you just have to upload all the data using 2JSON, and it is going to store each product individually inside this for loop. Okay, now let's close this. Now first thing we have to get over here is a Firebase instance, which is Firebase Firestore.instance, and inside this we are going to get the feature products. We have created a function which is going to return a list of product models, and its name is get feature products. It will be async, return type will be future, because it is going to call the cloud queries. Now first of all we are going to receive a snapshot of documents from the database. Because it is a cloud query, so we have to add a wait sign, then call the database dot. You can also directly call Firebase Firestore.instance dot collection, and name of the collection is products. Make sure you have to write exact names in order to get the data. Now we only want to get the feature products, and we only want 4 featured products. So we are going to use the where clause. Inside this where we have to call is featured. Also make sure these names should match exactly with the name in the database. Comma is equal to property is equal to, and pass the value to true. This is going to get all the products which are featured. Value is true, and then we only want to limit the products to 4. This is going to return the 4 products, and using the get we will be able to get all the products using this query. This is going to return all the products at once, but if you want to use a stream, you just have to write snapshots. So stream will be learned in upcoming videos, don't worry about it. So we get all the products, receive it over here inside the snapshot. Now we want to convert, because we receive a JSON, a document snapshot type of JSON. You can see map of string dynamic. So this is what we receive. We have to convert this and map it on our models and return that complete list of product models back to where it is being called. So let's return snapshot dot documents because we requested a lot of documents. So it is going to return us all the documents. So get the documents, and on each document we are going to run a map which is going to convert each document into format which we are going to return over here. If you hover this E, you can see it is a map of string dynamic. So now we have to pass this JSON using product model dot from snapshot, pass E to this one, and when this all operation will be completed, we are going to use dot to list, and that list will be returned using list of product models. So whenever this from snapshot is going to receive a JSON in this format, which is map of string dynamic, that JSON we will get this data into this. You can also add additional check before running anything. If document.data is equal to null, you can simply return an empty product model dot empty function. It is going to return empty model instead of executing everything over here. So this is the empty model that we already created, and we are going to return it from here. So once we receive this, we know what I have to do. We have converted everything, map it into the product model, and that product model will be returned back over here each time inside this map. And when all these items will be executed, we will convert it into a list, and that complete list will be returned over here. So let's head to the product controller. Error is gone. Now we're going to receive all the products, assign those products to this OBS list. And if we go to the home.dart, inside using this controller, we can assign the products dynamically. So first of all, let's wrap this widget. Press Alt Enter and wrap it with a observer widget, OBX. This observer is going to trigger set states for us automatically whenever there is change in the observable variables. It requires a function. We have to cut everything, and inside we have to return a widget. That widget will be displayed in this design. So we have to return the same grid just like this, but we are just going to add some other checks over here. If use the controller dot is loading dot value, if it is true, if it is loading, we want to return a simple loader. You can display circular progress indicator, but we already created a loader. If you go to commons in the widgets, you can see the folder shimmers. You can see a vertical product shimmer that we have just created. It is again using the grid style. Width is 180, using a size box, creating a column. First created an image using the default shimmer effect that we also created over here. So we're going to use this class and create an image, create a text with a small height, then again another text with a small height with a different width. Once created, we can use that vertical product shimmer and add a constant. So if this variable is loading, we are going to return this widget. In the next scenario, if we have nothing inside this controller, featured products dot is empty. If featured products receive nothing when the loader stop, this if will be executed. If they are empty, we want to display a message that no data found using a text and a center widget. And in the else scenario, if these both fail to be loaded, we are going to simply return a grid. Currently it has static values, so change that with a controller dot featured products dot length. Add a comma over here, and also you're going to modify this vertical product so that it should receive a product. Create a product model, import that model over here. So every time whenever we're going to call this, now we have to pass a product. Then inside over here we are going to call controller dot feature products at current index. Now this current index is going to be received from here inside this grid layout, and remove this constant. Sorry, we have to first create a product and then pass it. Okay, now each time inside this loop we are going to send a product to this vertical card. We have to modify a few things inside this design. First of all, let me display this grid layout that we have created. If you're new, you can watch the grid layout over here. We have item count which we can pass. We have main axis extent, item builder. I suggest you to watch the design tutorial in order to know these things. Okay, once we have a product, we have to pass the same product to the product detail screen in order to display the details of that product. So inside this product detail screen, we again have to create a product over here, import it and make it required inside this product detail screen. And now in here, we have to pass the same product, remove the constant. And by this way, when we are going to tap this, we will be redirected to the product detail screen with an actual product details. Then inside this container that we have already designed, we are going to replace the things with the real values. First of all, if we talk about the thumbnail image, we have to replace this static image with the product thumbnail image, remove this constant. So product thumbnail image will be displayed as the main image. Then over here we have a sale, but we are going to create a function that will return the sale percentage value, and we will display that percentage over here. Then we have a favorite icon button we will deal with in the next upcoming videos when we're going to deal with the favorites. Then Then in the details, we have a static title. So let's replace this title with product.title. We have to replace this constant. And also in order to display the brand over here, we are going to call product.brand.name of the brand, because brand can be null. So let's add this sign over here, add a constant. Then for the price, we have to check two things. Instead of displaying a simple static price, we have to see if we have a single price, a product type is single, we have to display a simple price over here. And if there is a sale price of this simple price, we also have to display a sale price. And same, if we have a variable product, we have to extract the minimum and the maximum price of that product, and we have to display it over here. We are going to create these functions in few minutes. And then this is the add to cart button that we will learn in upcoming tutorials, how to add elements to the cart. So first of all, let's try to create few functions. Instead of creating in the design, we are going to create those functions in the product controller. So first create instance, but this time we are not going to create a new instance using get.put, but we are just going to find already created instance, product controller dot instance. So this is going to return the already created instance using get.find, and we can easily use that over here. Now inside this controller, we are going to create a function get the product price or the price range in a string format. So we are going to call this get product price and pass a complete product to this. So first of all, we have a smallest price and largest price. Smallest price is double dot infinity, and we will try to keep reducing this price as lower as we can, and largest price is 0. So you have to keep on going to the upper side. Now the first scenario is we don't have any variations. We have to get the price and the sale price. So we're going to call if product dot product type is equal to product type. So this is the enum that we created, single and variable. Also, when storing the data, we are going to call this same enum and store the data. So in order to check if we have a same product type, we have to call product type dot. If it is a single, just use dot toString. If you are storing data in this way, product type dot single, you have to extract it and equal with the toString. If you are storing data using name, then you don't even need to use this toString, right? So if product type is equal to single, we have to return a string. So first check if product dot sale price is greater than 0. This means that we have something in the sale. So we are going to return product dot sale price, and in the else, if there is no sale, sale price is 0 or less than 0, we are going to return the actual price. And because we have to return a string, so let's wrap a complete if statement in this and return dot toString at semicolon. So in short, string will be returned from here. In the next scenario, if we have some variations, let's use the else statement. Now we have to calculate the smallest and largest prices among each variation. So for that, we have to run a loop on all the variations. So run a loop, we have to create a variation variable in product variations, because variations can be null. So add exclamation mark. We know that we don't have a product type which is single, so this means we have something in the variations. You can also add additional check over here if you like. Now in here, we want to consider sale price or the actual price. So in order to compare the price, we first have to get which price we want. If there is some sale at this current variation, we want to get the sale price. If there is no sale, we want to get the actual price. So we're going to use the variation if sale price, same way we have used over here. If there is sale price any, if it is true, we are going to return the variation sale price, else we are going to return the actual sale price. So this will be the price that we are going to consider if it is smallest or largest. Update the prices. If price to consider, which is the current price, is less than the smallest price, this means that there is some price which is smaller. So we have to assign that smallest price is equal to price to consider. Currently, the smallest price is infinity, and the first item we receive is, let's say, 100. So that 100 is definitely less than the smallest price. So smallest will be 100 in that case. And same for the second one. If price to consider is greater than largest price, which is 0, largest price will be at the start, will be the price to consider. And by this way, we're going to run the loop, and at the end, we will have a smallest and largest price in these two variables. And if by any chance we have the same price, which is smallest and largest price, we will have to return the same or a single price. So if smallest price is equal to largest price, return largest price dot toString, and else otherwise we're going to return the smallest price, then a sign. If you want to display a sign, you can use any sign, and then a largest price. So from smallest to largest. Now this function is going to return us price range or a single price. We just have to pass a product model to this function. Next, we also want to calculate if there is any sale percentage on this product. So create a function which is again going to return a string or maybe null. We're going to to receive two prices, original price and a sale price. In this, create the if sale price that we receive is equal to null or sale price is less than 0, means there is no sale. We're going to simply return null, means we don't have any sale currently on. And if also original price is less than 0, this means that this cannot be a true statement. We will return null from here. Next, in order to get the percentage of the sale, we have to get the original price, then minus the sale price divided with the, simply add a percentage formula. You will get the percentage, convert that percentage to string as 0, so that we don't have any something like 26 point something number. So to avoid that, you have to add a 0, so that you have fixed numbers like 26%, 27%, etc. Return that percentage. And the last function is to get the stock status. Get product stock status is going to receive a stock in integer format, and if stock is greater than 0, we will return in stock, otherwise we're going to return out of stock string message. So once we created all these functions, let's head towards the design, which is the product vertical card. We want to display all these using this controller. Inside the sale tag, we have to pass it so we can even get the sale over here. So we calculated controller dot calculate sale percentage, pass the current price of this product and also the sale price of this product. Is going to calculate sale percentage and return the sale percentage over here. Inside this variable, we can replace this with sale percentage. So just keep the sign, call the sale percentage over here, and that's it. So we have the sale percentage created, then favorite button is also done. We created all the details, then we have the price zone. So this is what we have to modify. We also have to modify the design, incorporate these changes. So first of all, we have to display a price over here, controller dot get product price, and we have to pass the product, remove this constant. Now this is going to return a string, either a string of range or maybe a simple string that will have a single value. But to display a discounted price, because this is the actual price, now to display a discounted price, we have to create another variable inside this. And also because the range can exceed its limit, so we have to wrap this padding with a column, because we have to display two prices on top of each other. So we're going to use the column, and also we're going to wrap this column with a widget which is flexible, so that in order to have a long price, our design should not crash. So if you see this, we have currently a small price, but if we have a price range, so it might enter into this add to cart button. So to avoid that, we're going to use this flexible widget over here. Okay, once done, we have the actual price, and we just have to add if statement to check we have anything on the sale or not. We are only displaying the sale price if we have a single product. If you want to display a price range as well, you also have to create another function. But for now, create if statement, if product type is product type dot single dot toString, and also the sale price is greater than 0. This means that we have something on the sale. We want to use the same spreading over here as a widget. We want to change how this button will look like. So use a custom text style, will be label medium, and also a line through means that this price or this actual price is no longer exist. So you can see we're displaying actual price over here, product or price, which will be the actual price. Now let's try to run this application and let's see if there is anything that we need to change. We are using the product vertical card in multiple places. Just to run this code, we are going to change, because we have to now pass the product. So I'm going to pass product model dot empty for now, so that we are able to run the complete command. Okay, so I hope we are done with the changes. Now let's try to run this application. Okay, you can see products has been loaded, 4 products been received, but we have to change these images so that images can be loaded as well. We have the discounted prices at the top. We forget to add $sign along with these prices. And also we have a one price range product. Also you can see the yellow tags means that we have some dynamic discount rating. So let me minimize this. Head towards this vertical card. Inside this rounded image, we have a variable which is network image, make it true. Let's save it. Open this and you can see they are being loading, and we have all the products being displaying over here. They are ready. But when we are going to click on any of them, you can see currently we have some static details. These are not selectable. Also, these images are not being selected. We cannot open these images. This text is not dynamic. So this is what we're going to create in the next tutorial in part 2. There's one more thing that you need to change. You can see these circles are a bit small as compared to all the images. So in order to fix this, you just have to add width as 180 of this rounded container, and also you can wrap this with a center widget just to be careful. Let's save that, and now you can see all the sides are perfectly aligned. We don't have any extra white space over here, and also images are in the center. So that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you learned something new. If you learned learn something new, please like the video. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified for all the upcoming changes. You can also get the complete code, link is in the description, or you can get the complete playlist link from the description as well, or from the right top corner. Once again, thank you for watching. Take care. Allah Hafiz.